Hey guys, how you doing today? My name is Shayna and I'm going to be running group. I hope you guys had a little bit of a chance to get introduced with each other, but we're going to go around, say our names, how old we are, and one interesting thing about ourselves. I'll go first. My name's Shayna, I'm 23, and I have a white fluffy cat.
I'm Joe. Hi.
Joe.
I'm 15 and I do Kung Fu.
Awesome.
I'm Tony. I'm 12 years old and I take ballet lessons.
Nice.
I'm Rachel, I'm 16, and I like to take photographs.
I'm Valerie, I'm 13, and I could squirt milk out my eyeball.
All right.
So cool.
All right. So before we get started talking about the reason why we're all here, we're going to set some ground rules. First off, this is a judgment-free zone, so we want to make everyone feel comfortable and we want everyone to have fun. So try to keep swearing to like a bare minimum. I know it slips sometimes, but you know, try not to do it. Try to keep most of our conversations relatively positive. I mean, don't be like, I don't like you. You know, just keep everything pretty comfortable. We're going to be talking about some kind of difficult things, so let's keep it positive. Don't talk over other people when they're talking. If you want to say something next, shoot up your hand. I'll point to you, and you can go next. Cell phones, please keep your cell phones on silent and put them away. Thank you. If you do have an emergency, just let me know, and you can keep it out and keep an eye out for it. You know, if you need to excuse yourself, no big deal. Make sure you can dress comfortably. You can wear like sweatpants, you can wear hoodies, you can bring a blanket. That's fine. Just keep it appropriate. No like violent t-shirts, no graphic t-shirts with like swear words, drugs, alcohol. Basically the same as school. Keep your body parts covered, but of course you can be comfortable here. The really big one is if you show up under the influence of drugs or alcohol, I have to ask you to leave and I have to inform your parents. So please, please do not do that. And of course, everything in this group is confidential. We say this to each other, you know, for support and, you know, again with a judgment-free zone. Don't say what someone says here to someone else. Like some of you guys go to school together, so just keep it in here. Does anyone have any questions?
I was wondering if I could bring a friend next time.
Sure, that's no problem as long as they're willing to participate and not going to cause a distraction, and if they're cool with a couple rules that are in here. Anybody else? No? Cool. So we're going to start with a couple games. Just, you know, fun stuff to get to know each other. The first one's called a question web. So I'm going to start by holding on to this end of the string, and I'm going to pass it to someone and ask a question. Like, so silly question, like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Stuff like that. And then they're going to hold on to that part of the string and pass it to somebody else. And we're going to keep going around a couple times. So, first off, I'm going to pass it to Tony. Tony, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is purple.
Awesome. So you're going to hold on to this part of the string, and you'll pass the ball of yarn to someone else.
Alright, who is your favorite music to listen to?
Oh, Macklemore, Ryan Lewis, my voice. What is one thing that surprises people about you?
I have a unique sense of humor.
Okay.
What's your favorite food?
I like eggs. I really, really love eggs. I could eat eggs every day. I love them covered in ketchup and pepper. It's delicious.
Very good. Very healthy food. All right. What's your question for me, my friend Joe?
If you could be any animal, what animal would you be?
Ooh. I would be a cat. I like cats. They're cuddly. Alright, I'm gonna throw this down to Vale. Vale, where was the last place you went on vacation?
I think I've ever been on vacation. Pennsylvania, I guess. Go see family at a family reunion.
That's cool.
Yeah. Let's see. If you were a bird, where would you fly?
Definitely somewhere warm. I'd probably do Florida, like most of them do in the winter, because it's cold here.
Okay.
Let's see. What's your favorite animal?
Real or mythical?
Either one.
I like dragons.
Alright.
They're awesome.
That's pretty cool. Very cool.
Forgot I have to ask a question. I already asked the good one. If you could have any superpower in the whole world, what would it be?
I'd like to fly.
Fly.
Can't ask the food one again. It needs to.
Okay.
What's your dream vacation?
Ooh. My dream vacation would be to go to Japan because I just always really wanted to go to Japan. So let's just do one more go around and then we can go to our next game. I will send it back to Joe. 'Cause
I don't have enough hands. Whoa! I lost my
don't
string.
let go.
Okay, hold on. I got it. We're good.
Okay.
We're totally good. What's the question?
What's your favorite subject in school?
I was just thinking of that.
It's definitely math. I like math because I'm good at it and nobody else is good at it and it makes me feel smart. So I like math.
That's cool.
I need to hold on to that.
Math is good to be.
For me?
Yes.
For me?
And now I need a question. Can't think of any more questions. What is your favorite season?
Fall, for sure.
Pumpkin everything.
Ugh, no.
Why?
Sweatpants and hoodies.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dang.
Sweatpants and hoodies.
Yeah.
Woo! Alright.
What is your favorite movie?
Oh, my favorite movie is The Nightmare Before Christmas. Alright, and last question. We'll send it over to Tony. Tony, what is your dream job?
My dream job would be a teacher.
That is awesome. Alright, so now we've got our little web going, and I have to add something a little cute about it, because even though we're all different, we have these little threads that unite us. It's kind of cute. Alright, so you guys can let go of the strings. It's kind of hard to hold on to them. Sorry. And then we have one more short game we're going to play. We're going to go around maybe twice. It's called Connecting Stories. So basically, we're going to start with one random memory or story about ourselves. If I go first, I could say I enjoy Thai food, or I enjoy Thai food and I went there last week. Someone could say something about Thai food. They could say something about what they did last week, and then we'll just keep building on that. Does that make sense a
So
little
it's
bit?
kind of just related?
Yeah,
Okay.
Or just one word out of what
just
you're
like one word out of, a little topic and switch them up. So who would like to go first? Okay.
Last weekend, I went to Toronto.
Awesome.
Last weekend I went to Rochester.
I was supposed to go see Macklemore in Rochester.
Does it have to be in order?
No, if you've got one, you can raise your hand.
No, I don't.
Okay. Alright, I have a group of friends in Rochester that I go see about once a month.
I like to hang out with my friends on the weekend.
And we'll go one more time around for everybody. Friends on the weekend.
I work every weekend.
Ah, that's a drag. I really like my work, and I have fun doing it.
I really like eggs.
Alright, Joe, you really like eggs.
I like scrambled eggs.
They're good.
Eggs with toast.
Okay. We're in agreement. We all really like eggs. Awesome. Alright, so we're gonna play some games next time. So, okay, so it seems like you guys really enjoyed the games we just did. It was pretty fun. I liked it. But here's some handouts, and we're going to pass around the first copy of them. Here they are. And you'll all get a copy to go home with. But it just kind of gives you the basics of what autism is like. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys know a little bit about it already. Can anyone tell me what you guys already know about autism?
It's a developmental disability.
That's right. It affects how a person behaves socially and how they communicate with others. So, and it's not to say that they don't know what's going on, it's just they process things differently than other people do. Go ahead, Dad.
Kids with autism like to repeat things a lot, right?
Yep.
And my brother just likes to line up his toys and he doesn't really play with them. Is that like a typical thing?
Yeah, that's pretty typical. Not all kids with autism do that, but it does show up a lot. It's the interesting thing about the autism spectrum is that there's a number of symptoms and behaviors that are associated with it, but not everyone shows them the same way or to the same degree. Like my sister, when she was younger, would line up her toys, but as she got older, she started doing a little bit more pretend play. So it's something that kind of changes with age as they develop more. There's also varying degrees of verbal abilities. Some choose not to or cannot talk at all. Some have, a few words that use, a few sentences, and some have very large vocabularies. So think of it as like a sliding scale, and a person's diagnosis falls somewhere between that line. Does anyone else have anything to share?
My mom says that they have trouble making eye contact, that we should try to teach them to do that when we talk to them.
Yeah, that's also really common for kids with autism. It's really good that your mom explains to you, your sibling's diagnosis in ways that you can help with that. I know sometimes it's really difficult for parents to integrate stuff like that with other kids. So, looking at the handout I gave you, it gives the basics, like I said. It lists symptoms that they exhibit socially, verbally, and behaviorally. Most of them should sound pretty familiar to you guys. And it's important for you guys to know that you and your family aren't alone in the experiences that you're having. The handout says that it affects about 1 in 150 children, but more recent studies say that it's closer to 1 in 60. And that's a really big jump from about 10 years ago. It's more likely to affect boys than girls, so you're just going to see typically more boys with autism than girls. But it occurs across all ethnicities, all social classes. You can make $1 million a year and you could still have a kid with autism. Researchers aren't exactly sure what causes it. There's a bunch of theories that have been either disproved, don't have enough evidence. It's just something they're still looking into and working on. So this is information you might already know, but is there anything anyone else would like to share, like something you learned previously that you'd like to share that you found interesting?
Question?
Sure.
Is it true that they consider Asperger's to be part of the autism spectrum? I'm not sure I know what the difference between the two of them is.
Yeah, they did recently start considering Asperger's to be part of the spectrum, and it's according to the DSM-5, which is like the big handbook of psychological disorders. Basically, and the easiest way to explain it is that Asperger's is like a higher functioning form of autism. Sometimes the higher functioning people with autism don't get diagnosed until a lot later in life, like in their 30s, 40s, something that it's mild enough that it kind of just goes unnoticed. Usually like higher functioning kids with Asperger's, autism, go to district schools. They don't have like a special school, and it's mostly social. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dan Aykroyd. He's an actor, and he was actually diagnosed with having mild Asperger's syndrome, which I thought was kind of interesting because, he's got a lot going on. It's pretty cool with that type of diagnosis. Temple Grandin, she's been getting a lot more attention lately. She's a very big advocate for kids with autism and treatment. She's a professor. She's a doctor of animal science and is a consultant on animal behavior. So, and not every kid obviously will be famous, just like every typical kid will not be famous, but it's a nice way to show that even though the disorder is difficult to deal with and it requires a lot of work, these kids can do a lot more than what some people might think they could. So, I do have another handout for you guys. This one's a bit more detailed, and it discusses how autism is diagnosed. Like, who gets to decide that your brother or sister has autism, and why? Like, what does anyone remember what it was like for you guys to be told your sibling has autism?
I do.
Yep, go ahead.
My brother was diagnosed when he was 3. I was 5 at the time, and I remember that they took him to the doctor, my parents, every week, and they were real worried. I thought there was something real wrong with him, but I remember that my parents didn't really tell me a whole lot at first. Just like my brother needed extra help in something, but as I got older, they started to tell me more and they explained what was really going on. I guess I didn't really understand until I was about 9, but he's just kind of always been my brother, so it was just normal for me.
Yeah, my brother was the same age, 2 or 3, when he was diagnosed, and it was really rough for everyone trying to figure out what that meant for us as a family. My parents split not too long after that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it's a really common occurrence in families with special needs children. It does really take a toll on everyone, and sometimes it is a little bit too much. It's very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, my dad still helps out sometimes, but my parents don't get along too well. But I remember my mom saying that my brother would look up to me, so I felt like a typical big sister. I just wanted to protect him and make sure he was happy.
Oh, that's something that I wish I could experience. My sister is actually older than me. I'm sad that I don't have the older sibling to look up to, but at the same time, she's my only sibling and I love her. I feel like the older sister sometimes to her.
That can be difficult too. What did it mean to you when your parents talked about it with you?
I kind of feel like it was never formally talked about. I know she had autism because I would see pamphlets or booklets, and I heard the doctors talking about it. It wasn't really explained to me, what that was. I just knew that was what my sister was. I was just kind of gathered the information that was around me, and I just treated her like I always did. She was never any different from me because she was older.
Yeah, it seems like this group is good for you then, because you can get a little bit more clarity on what exactly autism means and what it means for others too. I do hate to cut short, but the session is almost done. For the next session, I'd like you guys to think about what it means to have a sibling with autism. What does it mean for you in the rest of your life? I hope you guys had fun this week. We got quite a bit done, I think. Think about what we talked about, and we'll continue it next week.
Bye.